They're walking through a Slurpee. Ugh. There's no snow at all over here. I'm in complete wet, cold agony right now. Why did I come here? Here's the page that I did while I was at the flea market. I really like it. It has dinosaurs in it. I had to take pictures. Like, I have pictures of it on Twitter and Instagram, but my phone camera is so bad. And I can't tell when I'm looking at the internet on my phone, but when I'm looking at the internet at home, I can tell that the pictures are bad. So yeah, this is a better view with the color and everything. Love that. This one's Drumheller. I'm not sure why I randomly decided to draw this city, but I did visit it when I was a tiny child, probably before I was in school. So maybe I was like 4 or something like that. And they had these, every single street in Drumheller, this is like a city in Alberta. Every street has a fiberglass artistic dinosaur. Here's one, and they also have Canada's largest T-Rex there. And yeah, when I was a kid, I would go to the dinosaur museum there. And it's like weird how I can remember that trip so clearly, even though I was so young. But one, like, I never had so many mosquito bites in my entire life as I did on that trip. And 2, I learned the word swagger from I was reading a book, Franklin Phibbs, and I had to ask a relative what the word swagger meant, and she had to demonstrate by walking through a kitchen. I thought it was really funny. And I guess that's why I remember it, but yeah. They have lots of old stuff. I like how all the random cities that I keep thinking of doing just happen to have a lot of really old buildings, because that's my kind of thing that I'm trying to capture in these books. Especially since, like, I live in the Lower Mainland, where things develop very quickly here. So I think that's why I'm, like, captivated by heritage buildings, just because I'm not really that experienced with them. And I grew up in a city that is just very ugly old 80s cube style, and it's not that pretty. So yeah, so like all the ones in Surrey are all kind of newish buildings that are iconic to like the city, like this new ugly library with no books in it, and like this museum and this really pointy office building that's in every movie. I don't remember what this is. I think it's just like a really old house that also has a storefront on the bottom, and everything else is just residential except for like this little tiny old one. Like, they're just really old residential houses, and that's it. It's not that interesting, you know, compared to like Vancouver that has a lot. Like, I had to have 3 spreads to fit all the things I kind of wanted to fit into it. But yeah. You're not interested in this. It's still snowing. Like yesterday, I went to the flea market. It took me 2 hours to get there because the place was a mess. Our city does not plow anything ever. It says on Twitter that it's just taking longer for them to plow, but the truth is they just never do it. They never do it. The major route was not even touched, so I don't know what they were talking about. And every bus got stuck. Like, even our bus system does not hire plows to do their own stations, so every bus kept getting stuck, as you could kind of see. I couldn't really capture that, but... Oh, there's a robin. But every time, like, we took off anywhere from a bus stop, the bus would get completely stuck, and it was just so frustrating. It was exciting, like, but it is frustrating because it's like, this could have been so easily preventable. Why are we suffering through this? I left at 5:30 in the morning and I didn't arrive until 8. So that was really something. That was really something. And it was not worth it because I didn't actually... Well, it was worth it. I mean, okay, this is the first weekend at the flea market that I sold $0. which isn't really saying that much, to be honest. But I still like being able to sit there and work in that place just felt so right. Like it felt really good. I really enjoy my day there. I enjoy watching people just kind of like stop suddenly and then look at things. Sometimes people will talk to me and I think that it's kind of worth it in that regard. To me, like before I was looking at it as a place to sell things. But now like I think of it, especially since that downtown market, the downtown market, I went into doing it thinking like, oh, it's $300 a month. But if you rented an open, publicly accessible art studio, it would probably be way more than $300 a month. And now I'm at the flea market, which is $100 a month. And again, like if I had an open art studio, I don't think I'd be able to find one for $100 a month. And so that's what I'm kind of like treating this flea market as. It's just a place where I can go paint and people can wander through, and it has its own built-in traffic. It's not like I have to make events or put up flyers or anything like that. People just go, and I'm just a surprise. So in that sense, it's kind of worth it to me. So I'm procrastinating. It's 11 o'clock already on a Monday, and I had so many things that I wanted to do, but I just, you know, when you see your goal and where you want to be, but where you are is just so far from that goal that it just feels overwhelming and I don't know how to get there. And keeping in mind, you know, the whole thing from Rafi and Klee where they're saying like you should never get comfortable in what you're doing. If you find something that works, like don't just keep doing it because eventually it won't work anymore and then you won't know what's going on. And you won't be prepared for the next thing. Like you should always be evolving and changing and doing scary things no matter what. And so I feel like I'm at that point where I'm feeling comfortable, even though I'm not doing anything that's working. I'm not even remotely making any money right now, unless I do some kind of online transcription work or something. But because there have been zero consequences, I'm finding myself drifting off into a feeling of comfort. So today I was really hoping to work on things that really actually helped me. Like I wanted to submit a proposal for public art in Surrey, which I think I have a fair chance to accomplish. I just need to work on that thing, but it's on the computer. I'm not good with computer art, so I'm like hesitating. I also need to do final run through of a paid commission that has a really long deadline. It isn't even due for like another month, so I've been kind of ignoring that, but I'd really like to revisit that and make sure that it's in the right spot. So those are two things that could potentially help me directly. And also I need to do YouTube stuff, which doesn't really help me at all, but it is just something that I get used to doing, I guess. And after that, I don't know. Honestly, like this painting here that I did, I'm not really that satisfied with it. The colors are very boring. I've been looking at too much art on Twitter lately, and it's making me feel less confident about my art because my art is so boring in comparison to fan art and cartoon art and cute little whimsical art. So I'm just like, why? My artwork is boring. Look at this trout. He's very cute. I just feel like an old person, I guess. There's some kind of robin party happening out here. I guess I can't complain. It's like -7, I think. Look at this big pudgy boy. How are they not cold? Like, look at these bird footprints. Maggie looks so cold today. Oh, tight little ball. We have the thermostat set to just about 15 Celsius, which is kind of low, I guess. I don't know if the thermostat actually works though, because the heater never comes on. Pee pee? Let me tuck you in? Oh, sunshine, Maggie. Want some sunshine? No? Aren't you pretty? pretty kitty. You're confused, disturbed. Don't understand what's happening. Oh. So, I'm having a problem. This comes up pretty frequently, where I plug my tablet into the computer and usually nothing happens and everything's fine. But sometimes the computer is like, oh, you have new hardware, let me install it. And usually it just says, installed new hardware, like some generic message. But this time it says, we've installed your, you know, what it is, CTE 640, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wow, okay, he knows what it is now. That's cool. Except now pen pressure doesn't work, which is kind of the #1 thing you want in a tablet. It's the only thing that makes your drawings actually look like drawings. It's really annoying, and this happens a lot. The first time this happened, it was an issue with the rusty pen. It was rusty inside, so we just like cleaned up inside the pen, and I guess that's another option. But since then, it was mostly just drivers, and this tablet I think we got in like 2006 at the latest. Probably 2005 actually. So he's an old boy and there aren't really any active new drivers for it. So I have the original disc, doesn't work. I have the latest update, doesn't work. There's also a mysterious other driver that the Windows keeps downloading for it and installing, doesn't work. So there's 3 different drivers on this computer, probably all fighting each other. None of them are working. So I'm just like, well, I'm not a digital artist and I suck at digital art, so it's not really that big of an issue. For the most part, I can still use it. I just don't have pen pressure. So if I'm like patching or editing, it's not that big of a deal. But if I'm literally drawing something, I'm totally doomed. So my choice is just to not ever draw anything on the computer right now. I don't use it enough to like replace this perfectly normally functional tablet, and I don't know what to do at this point. I've tried literally everything. And usually when this happens, I just stop using it for a little while, and then the next time I plug it in, it works fine. So I don't know. I hate not being able to fix it though. I've tried different ports and stuff like that, but I think that's it for, I don't know. I'm so sad. It's really not that bad of a tablet, but... And getting a new tablet wouldn't work anyway because it's like pretty much all tablets have this problem, so it's like, It's working. I knew it was just gonna like inexplicably start working again. No reason. It might have been that update yesterday, but I have doubts. I have serious doubts. Computers. Oh, jeez. Oh, brr. Jeez. I think it's frozen. Oh, God. My hummingbird. There's a whole bird meeting going on out here. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, it is a hill. Looks like a good one. He's showing us the way. It's snowing again, and there's a cool little patch of blue sky over there. Huh. Interesting. When is this ending?